Hi there, this is Suzanne Wagner, and I'm doing the daily numerology and the astrology for March 24th, 2021. If you add all those numbers together, you get the number 14, and if you add the 1 and the 4 together, you get the number 5. The number 5 is the number of Earth, the physical body, the natural environment, everything that happens that is in the physical world. It is ruled by the feminine. It is the pentagram, and it represents the magic of the feminine. And so the number 5 today makes things very real. That's pretty obvious by the news. It is often the intensity of that reality that makes living in this complicated world something of a challenge. We dislike having the ground underneath us feel like quicksand. We get uncomfortable when we cannot clearly define what is real from what is intentional falsities. Humans are creatures of habit, and it is in that repetition that allows for some semblance of normalcy. I'm not saying that all normal expectations are good ones. That seems to be the problem here at this time. We are looking at how our world used to be a hologram with a level of symmetry and balance. All that was destroyed years ago. And while it has been ridiculously uncomfortable for each of us in our own way, it is now up to us to put the pieces of what is left of the old world and now manifest a completely new one. I do not think that that is all bad. It feels disquieting. This unsettled energy needs time and space to define itself and manifest something different. It is clear that nature, the number 5, is never obnoxious, though humanity is repeatedly obnoxious. What I know is that nature is challenging, but ultimately fair, though humanity does not always do that until there are laws in place to hold others accountable. We are on a path. Our feet are walking on the good red road. It is a dusty, filthy road. Our clothes are covered in that red dust, and it is dry and unpleasant, but stopping is not an option. To make sense of the challenges ahead, we must keep going. Put one foot in front of the other. Staying in place is sure to give nothing back. We must demand that the ground underneath us is solid and kind and stable. Those that disturb and fan the flames of chaos and suffering must be held accountable. Tolerance is given to those that feel badly and own that they made a mistake. Tolerance should not be given to those who care not for others' suffering, especially when they choose again and again to perpetuate that suffering. Okay, the astrology for today. Get ready for things to be a bit bumpy, as some astrology riles up moods and allows for conflict in many communication forms. There is upheaval like everywhere, and it intends to last for months. So we have to learn to manage things with as much grace and kindness as is possible. The big pattern causing so much upset for the next many months is that darn Saturn-Uranus square. There is an ongoing battle between individual needs and the greater picture that must encompass the collective energy. This is just the beginning of a cycle that we're going to feel all year. Just assume that all plans will have to be modified and changed many times. While we get this flow of relief coming from the vaccinations happening on some levels, on other levels, some challenges keep us on an edge that we thought we no longer needed to be on. It is the beginning of significant shifts on many levels. Within the cycle are great things that are of tremendous importance. On other levels, the last throes of a dying consciousness can no longer be tolerated. It becomes clear how a world with no clearly defined boundaries promotes a type of chaos that does not support freedom, but turmoil and terrorism. I believe in a world that has spirit and spunk to challenge established norms. I also believe in the people's power to insist that their government work for the people, not against it. Because the sun is in the fiery sign of Aries and it trines the moon in Leo today, there is this giant spark of energy that is being ignited. Learn to use that energy for the greater good of all. Learning to be in a cooperative environment instead of a combative one is a personal challenge for each person individually. Know that we are on a very new path. A path that is not about anything we have previously experienced. We are each pioneers hacking through the jungle of fears with our machete. Each step is effort. It seems that at times we will not know where we are going, but regardless, we need to keep moving forward. We cannot go back, and we have to learn how to create a very new world. One that, on many levels, seems impossible, but the impossible is possible, but only if you try. Only if you are willing to sacrifice things that are necessary to be part of this global shift. Know that many intend to not fight fairly. Know that others will use words as painfully as possible to have the maximum effect. Thick skin is required at this time. Some will do anything to win. Some will sacrifice their own morals and ethics to hurt others. That is never a good idea. I know we can do better. I know that we have to rise to our potential to do what is right. I know that the only way to make it through this cycle is to step out of the past and into something of higher value. The first step is to admit the mistakes and not try to gloss them over and make them better than they are. Sometimes we need to be raw and honest before consistent change can stabilize and happen. And my quote for today: tolerance is given to those that feel badly and own that they made a mistake. Tolerance should not be given to those that care not for the suffering of others, but choose again and again to perpetuate that suffering. And I didn't have time to do a blog today. Sorry, everybody. I was super busy trying to empty a storage unit, before the end of the month. I may or may not make it, but I'm trying to empty a storage unit and simplify and downsize, which I think a lot of people have done in this pandemic. So I hope you have a good time. Thanks. Bye.